We are over 2 months into the new year, and if you started a weight loss journey this year, but you're still not seeing the results that you want or they're not happening fast enough, I might have some insight for you. When I was thinking back to my recent weight loss journey, I realized that there were things that I was doing as a woman in her 40s that I thought was helpful or harmless, but was actually making it really hard for me to lose weight, and actually it was making me gain weight in some cases, especially belly fat. So before you throw in the towel on your New Year's goals, I need you to hear some of these things first, because I guarantee that you're probably doing one of these things, if not more. The first thing that I was doing that sabotaged my diet was continuing to eat foods that I was sensitive to, primarily dairy. If you've watched some of my videos, you might remember me taking a food sensitivity test, and it showed that I was sensitive to dairy, cow's milk, cheeses, yogurts, etc. Certain people can become sensitive or develop intolerance to different types of foods, which can cause an immune response to the body because it can't fully digest the food, and it causes lots of inflammation. That's why if you feel bloated, if your head's foggy, you have digestive issues, skin rashes like eczema, feeling achy, even lots of mucus production like a chronic cough, postnasal drip, or stuffy nose, if that's happening to you, you might be dealing with inflammation caused by something you're eating. And it may be one of the reasons why you can't seem to get rid of your belly fat. I always wondered why I looked pregnant at the end of the day, and it was probably from all the inflammation caused by the 1 to 2 cow's milk lattes that I was having throughout the day. If you suspect that you might have a food sensitivity, the best way to find out is to get a food sensitivity test done. I got mine done at my doctor's office. This is a 208 food panel for IgG. The IgG is a type of immune response for food sensitivity. IgE is more for food allergies, like a true allergy. And the 208 means that it tests 208 different types of foods. I recently made the switch over to flax milk to use in my morning lattes, and it has made a big difference. I no longer look like I'm with child by 4 p.m., and I wake up and I go to bed with a flat tummy. Cutting out dairy isn't the only thing that's giving me a flatter tummy these days. I've actually been taking a supplement regularly for over the past 6 months that I think has been helping in this area as well. It's my Gem Bite. Gem is a multivitamin made with real food ingredients. It has over 20 real food vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and prebiotics. All of them are whole food sourced. And those prebiotics and probiotics has been really helping to tame any excess digestive bloat that I might have. Plus, I love that all of these nutrients come from real food, especially because our bodies absorb nutrients better from real food sources compared to those from synthetic sources. The Gem Bite has turmeric for skin and gut protection. It has zinc from pumpkin seeds. It even has vitamin K2 sourced from chickpeas, and vitamin K2 is essential for bone health. It contains vitamin B complex sourced from germinated quinoa sprouts, ginger, and more. All of them, again, whole food sourced from real ingredients. Another cool thing about Gem is that it's HSA, FSA eligible. So not only am I giving my body clinically studied ingredients that help support my health, but I'm also saving money. Right now, Gem is offering a special deal off of your first month. Just go to dailygem.com/KetoFocus and use code KetoFocus at checkout to get yours. One thing that I used to do that I thought was helping me cut calories and lose belly fat was skipping breakfast. During my intermittent fasting phase, I would have coffee first thing in the morning and then just not eat anything until noon or as late as 2 p.m. But this approach was actually stressing my body. Without a protein-rich meal to start the day, my cortisol, that stress hormone that's linked to belly fat, would spike, and then it would crash, leaving me more fatigued and just craving foods that were not good choices and not nutrient dense. I've been hearing these bits of information about how intermittent fasting is not a good option for women just because it kind of negatively impacts our hormones. And I also just honestly feel better when I eat in the morning, especially something that's protein rich. To support metabolism and balance your hormones, it's important to get a meal with healthy fats and plenty of protein earlier in the day. And that doesn't mean that you have to eat the first thing you wake up. I usually eat around 2 or 3 hours after I wake up, but waiting too long might actually be working against you. Another thing that was working against me was my glass of red wine. I used to drink a glass of wine a few nights a week as just like a way to unwind. Sometimes that led to 2 glasses, and sometimes a few nights a week led to like 5 days a week. I mean, it's red wine. I used to think it was great for the heart, right? Like that's what the doctors always said, drink a glass of wine a day, it's great for your heart. But it turns out that's not really the case anymore. Alcohol is sneaky. It's empty calories, it slows down metabolism, it makes it easy for you to overeat. When your body metabolizes alcohol, it prioritizes that metabolism because it looks at it as like a poison. So anything else that's consumed at the same time, any other calories, just gets stored as body fat or visceral fat. And I didn't realize how much those extra glasses of wine were actually adding up and really contributing to my belly fat until I stopped it. Once I stopped drinking alcohol regularly, I noticed that my digestion started to improve. I wasn't bloated all the time. My pooch started to go away. I actually slept better too. Another thing I didn't expect was how much alcohol was actually affecting my stress levels. I used to think that my glass of wine was needed to help me unwind, but in reality, it was actually messing with my sleep and making my body more stressed out overall. Alcohol can spike cortisol, and that constant cycle of wine, poor sleep, and stress was working against me. Like I said, once I cut it out and now I only drink on special occasions, my energy actually has improved. I sleep better. I wake up more refreshed. And like I said, I still enjoy alcohol here and there. It's just not regular anymore. Instead of my nightly wine to relax, I actually find that I crave ice water from my Stanley mug more so than anything else. And I love it. So much better for me. Back before I started my recent health journey, I found it hard to stick to a consistent fitness routine. I would start a program and then go way too hard, too fast. I'd push myself to the max every day just thinking it was going to speed up my progress, but instead I'd completely burn out and end up doing nothing for weeks. I assumed that the more I worked out, the faster I'd see results, but in reality, the over-exercising was actually slowing things down. And I'll explain why in a second, but the biggest takeaway is that more isn't always necessarily better when it comes to fitness. I always thought that I had to be sore in order for a workout to be effective, but I learned that's not the case. Over-exercising also spikes your cortisol, that stress hormone that signals the body to store fat, especially around the midsection. When cortisol stays elevated, your body goes into survival mode and it makes it harder to burn fat, and you store it a lot easier too. I never used to think about how my workouts were affecting my stress hormones, but looking back, that all or nothing approach, trying to work out twice a day, 7 days a week with intense cardio and weightlifting was actually working against me. And no wonder I wasn't seeing results and would quit. What finally worked for me was shifting to a more balanced and sustainable routine. I started focusing on daily movements, like just walking or doing a 15-minute Peloton session or just maybe some stretching. I also cut down the length of my workouts. Now they're around 10 to 30 minutes instead of just pushing for that hour or more a day. Lately, I've been doing some sort of activity 5 to 7 days a week for about 20 to 30 minutes. I've actually been back on my Peloton, but I still go on walks sometimes and then alternate between doing a light upper body workout or legs. And this actually really brought enjoyment back into exercising, because before I would always dread it because it just took so long and it was just so intense and I knew I was going to get tired. But now I actually enjoy it. I think I look forward to it too because I'm just more flexible with it. If I can't do a 30-minute session, oh well, maybe it's 10 minutes. I think giving myself grace has really made the most difference in this aspect. Another thing I started doing, which I actually neglected because I just didn't really think it was that important, was core workouts. I always heard that abs were made in the kitchen, so I thought, what does working on my abdominal muscles really have to do for me if I did it every single day? So I'd really maybe do it once a week, which in reality was probably like twice a month. After having kids, I struggled with that lingering mama pooch that just wouldn't go away no matter how much I worked out or if I tried to diet. I mean, we know where a lot of that's coming from, but I also found out that my ab muscles had that separation after pregnancy, that diastasis recti. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And skipping core or doing the wrong core exercises when I was doing ab workouts was not helping me. Once I started focusing on the right core workout, like a deep core work where I'm doing pelvic tilts and dead bugs, I started to see a difference. No more crunches or planks that just put too much pressure on the midsection. I focus on controlled movements that help to pull the abs back together and flatten the stomach. Besides that, a strong core actually helps improve your posture. It gives you better stability and balance, just important things that you need as you grow older in life. I used to think that weight loss was all about diet and exercise, but I didn't realize how much sleep was holding me back. When I wasn't getting a solid 7 hours of sleep at night, my progress actually stalled and even backfired. I was only getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep at night when I was in my hustle mode for trying to grow this YouTube channel, and I actually started gaining weight. As embarrassing as that was, but lack of sleep played a huge role in that. Sleep helps regulate your hormones, especially cortisol, which can spike when you're sleep deprived. High cortisol can tell your body to hold on to fat, making it harder to lose weight. I was stuck in this cycle of feeling exhausted, craving sugar from the cortisol spikes, and struggling to see results, all because I wasn't prioritizing my rest. Once I started to make sleep a priority, things changed. My cravings went down, my energy levels went up, my body started to respond to the work I was putting into it since I was giving my body time to repair. Now I treat sleep like a non-negotiable part of my health routine, just like nutrition and exercise. If you're doing everything right, but you're not seeing progress, check on your sleep because it just might be the missing piece along with all these other things that I went over today. And if you want to see what I've been eating lately that helped me lose a lot of weight recently, then just click right here and follow my journey.